Hey y'all, it's your girl Need to Be Watching. I'm back with another video, and I really wanted to get in on this topic, especially with everything that's been going on with Sanders and how, him being drafted and Blue Ivy coming back to the stage, Fias and all her glory, and just the conversation in general about nepotism and as it relates to the black community. Now, first of all, what is nepotism? For the most part, it's when a family is able to create opportunities for their family members, their children. They're able to pass down wealth and power. Now, many ethnic groups practice nepotism, but anytime black people pass a cookie down to their child, it's a problem. Why is it only controversial when black people do it? I have a couple of videos that I was looking at on TikTok that I'm going to put up in here. And after that, I'm going to give my little commentary because I just want to know, why is it okay when they do it, but when we do it, it's a problem. Let's get into these videos, and I'll be back at the end.
Hope the Cleveland Browns get what they bargained for with Shedeur Sanders. He seems like another entitled Nepo baby to me. Not really a team player.
Say it. Say it. Because Nepo wasn't the word you wanted to use. 100%. 100%. Nepo was not the word you really want to use. Because what was this post even about? Do you watch football? Respectfully, and I mean this respectfully to all the Cleveland Brown fans, their team is one of the worst teams in the league every year. Every year. They need all the help they can get. Mind you, there's some back office problems going on. But somebody asked you, explain to me exactly what you mean he's not a team player. You go to reply, I think his dad is over-aggressive, involved in his career, and that makes it hard for the decisions to be his. What does that have to do with Shedeur? You obviously don't like Dion. Say it. Say it. Because that's what this post is about. I went through the comments. You mentioned nothing about Shedeur's career at Colorado, none of his accolades, and nothing. Only thing you could say was he's a Nepo baby. We know what this post was about.
What is the original sin of the black man in white America? To be more confident in yourself than a Caucasian is in himself. Black men who are more confident in themselves than white men are in their own selves are considered a threat. Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders were a threat to the NFL power structure, and so they sabotaged that boy. And you know another reason why they did this, Art? Not only to mess with his money, not only to embarrass his father, but they also did this to keep everybody tuned into the draft day after day after day. Let me ask you a question, Art. How many people you think watching the NFL draft after Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and Shedeur Sanders are drafted number 1, 2, and 3? How many people you think still watching the draft after that? Nobody. They're going to turn on the NBA playoffs, right? So guess what? This was two birds with one stone, Art. This was two birds with one stone. We're going to humiliate Deion. We're going to humiliate his son. And guess what? We're going to keep the whole world tuned into draft day because everybody wants to see where Shedeur lands. They used Shedeur, Art. They used him as a pawn for media ratings to make money off Shedeur, and then have the audacity to turn around and not even pay Shedeur the money he's worth. How dare you use that boy to keep everybody tuned into the draft? How dare you use that boy to keep everybody tuned into their TV watching the NFL draft and then rob him of his financial payday? I hope Deion and Shedeur sues. Whether they do it now, whether they do it tomorrow, they need to sue. Pay them back, Shedeur. And if that means you got to go and be the quarterback coach for your father at Colorado, and I know how much he wants to play in the NFL, but I believe he can win the lawsuit and still play, Art. What
Last night, we witnessed what happens when a Nepo baby takes their privilege and the opportunity that they are given seriously. Because I will never forget how y'all let Kim fling Northwest on that stage at the Hollywood Bowl dressed up like a Furby, ill-prepared. I will also never forget how y'all have been playing in Blue Ivy's face since she was a toddler. The texturism and featurism of it all. Called this child ugly strictly based off the fact that she bears Afrocentric features similar to her father. Y'all were begging Beyonce to put a relaxer in this child's hair as a toddler, but propped up Northwest because her features were more ambiguous to your liking. And all Jay-Z and Beyonce did was continue to build up and uplift their child to the young woman that she is today. And all I could do was stare on in pride because we've watched this baby from birth until now shine like the star that she is. The Grammy Award winning, world tour carrying Blue Ivy Carter.
Let's get one thing straight. I love Black nepotism. Nepotism is a love language. It's a strategy. And quite frankly, it is my favorite thing. We always say that it takes a village. Well, baby, let the village eat. I love seeing us put each other on because for everyone else, it's legacy. But when it comes to us, it's a problem. It's unfair. It's biased. It's unprofessional. Girl, please, let's talk about Beyonce, Blue Ivy, and Rumi. Y'all remember when Blue was out here dancing Renaissance? Folks had so much to say. And now with Carter, everyone's like, baby, Blue Ivy's that girl. First of all, she's always been that girl. Second of all, the cheers, the applause, the standing, great. I love that. But please, make no mistake, Beyonce gave her daughter this platform, okay? She didn't wait for anyone else to validate her. She put her daughter up there. She allowed her the space to grow, get better, face her fears, be able to take criticism and really improve and perfect her craft if that's what she wants to do. Rightfully so. You think Blue stood in line to audition? Absolutely no. She stood in her birthright, and I love that for them. I can't wait to see all the clips from tonight. Baby, Cowboy Carter is in full motion.
I'm gonna always be here for Black nepotism. I seen people saying that, oh, Blue only got that part in Mufasa because of who her parents were, even though the director said her parents being Beyonce and Jay-Z had nothing to do with her getting the part. And I said, good. If she got ahead in life because of her parents, great. And I'm here for it because we all know, like, Black nepotism or Black generational wealth, I feel like it's different from other races because the saying that we have to work 10 times harder to get half as far is definitely true. So if somebody Black got that far in life to where it benefits their kids, bitch, they put in the work for themselves, they put in the work for their kids, they're putting in the work for their grandkids, they're putting in the work for their great-grandkids, and so on. Like, the work was put in, so more Black nepotism. But Blue and B look good as fuck, and then, of course, Jay just in the back, looking how he look. No shade to that man. But I was about to say Blue gonna be a problem, but Blue been a problem. Didn't she get a fucking Grammy straight out the womb? Like Blue is already that girl. Like, shout out to Blue. I might make this picture my background and just put my face up for Jay-Z or something, because this picture eats down. Black royalty. I know that's right.
How the fuck did we turn Nepo baby into a damn insult? What do you mean that's a bad thing? Let me get this straight. I got two connected ass parents, two famous rich ass parents, and I'm just supposed to not utilize that? I don't work for nothing? Duh, that's the fucking point. The fuck? I already knows the brokies and the people who jealous and the people who don't know how to be happy for other people. And on top of that, y'all be mad as if the Nepo babies are coming for shit that y'all planned on doing. Oh, she's a Nepo baby, that's why she gets to do the set design for the tour. Did you go to fucking set design school? I don't think so. Were you even planning on doing that? What are we talking about? Oh, she's a Nepo baby, that's why she's a model. All of your pictures are like this. Do you even know how to pose in front of a camera? Why do you care?
King Combs is a Nepo baby.
Right. Hey, to be fair, King Combs did put out a lot of songs that did not hit.
That's proving the point.
That's proving our point. As many chances as he's getting, it's because of a direct link to who his dad is.
Some of these kids were literally born to do this just by osmosis. Steph Curry's a Nepo baby, you know what I mean? Like, his dad was in the league, Del Curry.
No, that's not. Like, he's not good or where he's at because of nepotism. He's good and where he's at because he has a good upbringing.
So let's switch it, right? Think of Coi Leray, right?
The fuck her father.
Exactly. She's technically a Nepo baby because she grew up in the industry, right? But Coi Leray already has put out better music than her dad ever did.
But there are other people who have the right to feel like, fuck, you skipped the line, and that's just the lay of the land.
Is it bitter bitch syndrome? Niggas being
No,
bitter?
if we're standing in line at the deli and one of the regulars come in and they skip you, you'll be like, yo, what the fuck? Denzel's son, phenomenal roles he's played. I'm not mad that you're using it. We get mad that you're abusing it.
I don't know what magazine it was that started the Nepo baby talk. Let me tell you something. I suggest it for everybody. Being a Nepo baby is great.
We're seeing, like John David Washington, we're seeing the next generation of guys come up.
Why not? I hope you all have Nepo babies.
Yeah.
It's been happening way before any of us. It's been happening on scales of whether it be actors or
CEOs.
royalty, to even when you see a garage that'll be, Jefferson and Sons, a pizza shop. It's always been happening. So I'm not running from that. Get mad, get glad, get heavyweight trash bag, baby.
Okay, and we're back. Now, a couple of things. I wanted to say, when I feel like people think of celebrities' children being given, or I'm gonna say being given opportunities, it's a little bit of jealousy in there, especially if they feel as though that's something that they should be doing, and why didn't I get it that easy, and blase blase. And those feelings are valid for that person, but at the same time, the path was laid for that child to get in that lane by their parent. Somebody had to be the sacrifice. Somebody had to do the dirty work. A lot of people don't want to do the dirty work. So it's like, can you really be mad at those who have laid the foundation down and made it plain so all their children have to do is just walk on it? A lot of our parents, regardless what areas they were in, they did not do that. And not only that, but this isn't just something like Hollywood people do. As I stated before, every ethnic group has practiced this. You may be more familiar with seeing mom and pop stores, family dining restaurants, small town family dining restaurants, HVAC company, electric company, construction companies, where a lot of these people, family, started it and passed the business down. That's not laziness, that's strategy. They saw a need and said, you know what, we about to get us in this door. It's going to lay the foundation for generations to come. So instead of being mad, get your little notebook pad out and your pen and come up with a plan for you and yours. Now, there was a part where the guy on the podcast mentioned how it's not fair because that's like you getting in the line, wait your turn. I definitely didn't agree with that because I'm like, well, if you really think about it, it's two ways you can look at that using his scenario. Because you do have times where you can go in the line. We all have been on the line and you'll see your sister, family member, friend and be like, hey, come over here, stand in front of me. Like, some people might see that as bussing or it's strategic because why should you have to wait if I'm already waiting in line? Secondly, I don't really view it as it being them waiting in line and bussing, only because their parents was waiting in that line before you even got in that line. They waited in that line so their kids wouldn't have to wait in that line. So again, you can't really be mad at parents who made it to a certain point where they could be able to make it easier for their children to achieve their dreams, because that's supposed to be the goal and the plan. Granted, everybody doesn't have it like that, but I feel like when it comes to black people, I feel like it's a disservice to act like these said black people also had a silver spoon. Because when you think of Jay-Z, when you think of Deion Sanders, these people wasn't given a freaking gold spoon. Mercy Projects, they had to do a couple things, good or bad, betted on themselves, and now they're here. And then you have people who are like, oh, but you shouldn't allow your children to shine or to be greater than. They should have to start back here with us. Oh, no, they don't. Because their parents paved the way because they didn't want their kids to start back like everybody else. I feel like a lot of times within the black community, we view struggle as if it's something to be a flex. When struggling is not a flex. if anything, struggling and continuing to not only bring children into struggle, but to not provide a way for them out of the struggle is just generational sabotage. Because it's like, okay, you didn't get it, but then you'll have these bright, shining new souls coming into the world and they full of dreams. Here you go pouring water on their parade because you didn't make it into the NBA, or you ain't make it to the NFL, or you didn't become that businessman that you wanted to be. And God forbid your child has a dream. Here you go pouring water on their parade. Especially when we think of historic times like Black Wall Street. People like to mention that, how every time Black people back in the day tried to establish their legacy and it was taken from them, it was burnt down, bombed, whatever, things was done to them. To now, fast forward, present day, at this point, when I see Black people winning and I see Black people, being able to pass the baton to their child, to me, that's ancestral repair. You're repairing the connection. That's their birthright. It's not a bonus to be allowed to give your children what they need to be successful. It's not a bonus. That's what we are due as people. And if you're able to do that for yours, good job. But in closing, I just think it's really important to understand that we weren't meant to start from scratch every generation. Every generation, we should not be starting from scratch. Somebody has to break the curse for their line. Somebody has to say, you know what, I'll take all this so that those coming behind me can have it smoother. Who said that we had to struggle? Who said that that you should have your child struggling? Who said that, okay, because you got it, don't give it to your kids. Make them earn. Like, granted, you're going to teach them to, see the value, and they'll see it in you, watching you work and watching you move. But to just be a thorn in their side just because you want them to feel the struggle is, to me, is for what? Nobody else does that. And again, we weren't meant to start from scratch every generation. That's not excellence. That's exhaustion. Starting from scratch every generation, having to have our kids get it out the mud the same way we did, and there's no progress. It's just wasted energy and wasted time. So, like I was saying about the guy who made the comment about waiting in the line. Why are we waiting in the line? Why aren't we creating multiple lines, multiple lanes? Who said that it was only one way to go? Who said that you have to stand right here and wait your turn? Why can't you create your own turn? When I think of nepotism, and especially when I see it in other races, half of Hollywood is filled with nieces, nephews, and cousins, and sons and daughters. Like I said, don't nobody say nothing. It's not a big deal because their parents was actors, actresses. Their kids obviously was able to get in, and it's just, oh wow, this is, I can't think of the people, but it's so many of them that's related in there. But like I said, when Black people do it, and it don't even got to be Hollywood. Look at what, like I said, with Deion Sanders and his son, because of his attitude, he needs to humble himself. Because we're used to, I don't know what they want to be used to, but it's a new day and age. Ain't nobody begging for a crumb at your table, okay? And I feel like that's how we need to continue raising our kids, to have that same type of cockiness that Sador has. Why not? Because they like it when we are pouty and miserable and begging. No, we don't need to do that. So that's my little spiel. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you have any comments or opinions, let me know in the comment box below. As always, I'll be back with another video, and thanks for tuning in. See y'all.